What's going on, our awesome friends? My name is Roman, this is Ray, my awesome body, and this is important elements.
Very important element.
Very important elements. How many of you ever had a famous Russian Ukrainian soup called the borscht? Borscht. Have you ever had borscht?
No, never had.
Never had borscht before. Guys, today we're gonna make a borscht, which is a very...
I wear a Russian jacket. I mean...
He's wearing a Russian jacket, but he's never had borscht before. We're gonna fix that today.
Potato ran away.
Potato ran away. So guys, first we're gonna start fire, because we're gonna make it all on the fire. Like, you can do it on the stove top, no problem, but we're gonna go crazy and make it like classic way, like they used to do it in Soviet Russia back in the day. So check it out, starting the fire.
We're gonna cook this on a tank?
Yes. Tank, not tanky. Got this monster thing, works really cool, works miracles, and start charcoal instantly. We got some firewood and this cool creature designed, very interesting thing called mangal. You ever seen this before?
I see it every time I come over here and visit.
You always see this, but you never use it, right?
Right, right.
We're gonna use it today.
This
America!
is a barbecue right here, okay? This is a barbecue.
That's a barbecue. That's
Okay,
a Russian
this
barbecue.
is like this is like some
IKEA
sort of
furniture.
Russian barbecue. This thing's like a trough.
A trough.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's light it up.
I mean, you already lit it, but I mean, let's give it a little more.
Wow, your hairspray sucks, bro.
It says extremely flammable.
Okay. Smells good, though.
I don't even have hair.
This will take about 10-15 minutes tops, guys, but the coals will be perfect. So the meats that we will need for the broth are very simple. Mostly it's going to be based on beef. We got the beef knuckle, we got the oxtail, we got some chicken legs, pork ribs, and of course smoked pork shank. Alright guys, so for the veggie part, all we need is a little bit of carrot, cabbage, and some sauerkraut. Fresh cabbage, sauerkraut, some carrot, and then we're gonna put just a little bit of olive oil on that, like that.
What about like Worcestershire sauce?
In Russia, Worcestershire sauce was not really used, Ray. So we basically mix all this together.
Okay, gotcha.
Some sauerkraut, some fresh cabbage, olive oil into like a casserole pan, yeah, and into the 425-degree oven. It goes for about 30 minutes. It just needs to get brown and slightly crispy on the edges. Now for borscht, we're gonna use 3 of these medium-sized beets like this. That's what the main ingredient for borscht is. That's what the borscht is all about. The beets. To the beets. To the beets. And some carrot. The best way to do this is just using old-fashioned shredder like this. Grinder shredder. And some carrot. Now usually when you buy meat in the store, it doesn't come grilled and it doesn't come seared. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear it on the charcoal fire on a really nice iron cage griddle. Get that sear on the meat. Alright, got some of this meat on the grill, on the charcoal. All we need to get is just a nice sear because we're gonna use that for the broth.
Listen to that. You know what that smells like?
What?
Delicious.
Delicious. Alright, so for the actual aromatics, for the broth, guys, we need some carrot, garlic, bay leaf, porcini mushrooms, onions, and green onions, and of course celery. That's pretty much it. So we're almost there on the searing and ready for our pot. Alright guys, the meat is seared just like this, and I got plenty of aroma and smoke on my clothing, and I wish they sold that in the spray. You know, like after the shower you get the grilled meat onto you. Because I don't want to do this every time after the shower. Right?
You know what? I'd love if they make a Yankee Candle with like burnt brass.
So we're gonna take the meat, we're gonna put it in our pot, we're gonna take all these veggies and gonna put it together with the meat, some nice good water, and we'll put it boiling for about 4 to 6 hours. It's a time consuming, but guys, trust me, you really need that time.
That's me.
And now, let's get some veggies.
Let's throw some veggies in there.
Celery. Onion.
Luke.
Smoky pork ham shank. Smell that. Oh, so good. Green onion. Carrot.
Markovka.
Bay leaves. White mushrooms, porcini mushrooms. Dry mushrooms are really good because they are a lot more concentrated in flavor. So you can use shiitakes, dry any mushrooms that you like. I like the porcinis.
How about those mushrooms that send you on, like, you know,
On a trip?
a good trip?
Yeah. Garlic. Lots of garlic. Like a handful of garlic like this.
That works.
That is so perfect. And just good water.
Oh, look at that water splashing all around.
It's like commercial. Got the broth on the fire. I'm basically using just a regular firewood to get it going. And it's gonna take about 3 to 4 hours. And you don't want to have a fire too much, otherwise it's gonna boil away too much. You want slight bubbles, like nothing like
But fire is cool.
And now we're gonna make the beads. I'm gonna take it out of your pocket. Iron skillet. Armor. It's the Russian helmet.
It's an iron skillet. Those things are great. Are you kidding me?
We're gonna need this for some beets, to caramelize some beets and some onion and some carrot right there on the fire.
That actually smells good.
The iron skillet is pretty hot. What I'm gonna do is use a little bit of sunflower seed oil, not olive oil. If you don't have sunflower seed oil, basically any vegetable canola oil will work because it has a high burning temperature, so it will not burn super fast. Sunflower seed oil you can probably buy in any of your store. Any grocery store will have it. Nice and hot. First we're gonna put the onion. Look. And then we're gonna put our beets and carrots, just like this. We have to be careful not to burn it too much. It's okay if it gets a little bit caramelized and a little bit more golden than usual. That's fine because that's what the sugars are gonna release and it's gonna get a really good taste. But what we have to do is right now we have to add a little bit more sugar. Regular sugar and vinegar. That's the secret to keeping the beets red so they don't get brown. We gotta put a little bit more wood. Not the spoon, but this chunk of wood right here. Sugar. And vinegar. Gotta have the vinegar, guys, otherwise the beets, they'll get brown. They're not gonna have that pretty red color. So just a little bit of vinegar. One more ingredient. Once it starts to get soft and caramelized, we're gonna hit it with a little bit of tomato sauce to create that almost like a sauce. Basically, this will be the base for the borscht. You don't want to boil all that in the soup. You want to cook the beets, the carrots, the onions separately. Once the broth is ready, that's when we're gonna combine together and make an awesome soup. Right about now, some salt. Gotta season the veggies. I wouldn't season the broth right now with salt and pepper because we just want to extract all the flavors out of the meat and veggies, and later on we'll start seasoning the broth. So a little bit of salt and pepper on the beets. Now, I recently discovered this little ingredient. It's kind of secret, but I'll share it with you guys. This is just your ordinary Bloody Mary mix. There's no alcohol here, it's just a mix for making Bloody Marys. It's a famous company, you know what that is. Basically, a little bit of tomato sauce and a little bit of this will create this really cool flavor, and people be asking, what is in your borscht? Why is it so different and good? Well, it's because I recently discovered this idea. Alright, here we go. Bloody Mary mix, guys. Alright, now let this kind of cook. We'll move the wood out of the way a little so the temperature is low. Let's go because the cabbage is ready, and I'll show you why I roasted the cabbage. Let's get our cabbage out. Perfect! Oh, the smell is amazing. Now the reason we want to brown the cabbage like this, because when it browns it releases this awesome flavor and smell that you don't get from regular cabbage that's not cooked. It has that really nice rustic veggie, you know? Alright, so we're gonna mix this. See, the bottom layer is perfect.
Right.
So we mix all these burnt ends because that creates the flavor. That is the flavor. Yeah, guys, so as the broth goes, make sure you take off all that foam that forms on the top, because we don't need that on the broth. So just take it off like that.
Whoa!
Oh yeah. Alright guys, so after about 8 weeks of boiling, this thing is good to go. We just have to strain it really well, and then I'll show you the next process. So guys, I got a pot that we're gonna use to make the borscht and finally put everything together. Here I got some final ingredients that we do need. A little bit of raw onion, potato, tomato, tomato, potato, and garlic. Garlic, garlic, right? Olive oil or your favorite oil. Right here, it really doesn't matter which oil you use. Whichever you like. Bam! Just like this. The first thing that goes, the potatoes and onion together, because we want to brown them. Yes, right? Look. Patat. Tomat. Chestnut.
Check it out.
A little bit of garlic. I call this a little bit, but some people still concerned about this and might say that that's way too little garlic.
Only vampires would.
I know, they'll burn if they eat this, right? You can use your favorite tomatoes. It could be Romas, it could be just a early girl. Whatever tomatoes you like, go ahead and use it. If you don't have fresh, go for the canned ones. It will work also. Alright, here we go. Tomats. And just stir it in. The potatoes, the tomatoes, going good right now. Yes. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add, remember that kraut cabbage we made? And I set it aside to rest a little bit. Well, it's almost dinner time, so just put it in there. Fresh cabbage, some garlic I added in there. Just like this. And see all these little burnt, nice crispy ends? Oh, that's the flavor. And we basically take that golden juice, the broth that we spent 4 hours making, and put it all in there. And this is all the broth we added right here, and we'll just let it kind of just simmer there for about 20 minutes. So, the final steps for the borscht is, look at that, it's almost there. We got our beets. Look at these beets. Remember those beets we sweated for like a good hour on the fire? Yeah? And that's what's gonna make this awesome soup very nice and red. Oregano, basil, thyme. Alright, here we go. Just like that. About 10 more minutes and it's good to go.
Oh, 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Now.
friends, it's been 6 hours. It's been about 20 hours and we finally got the borscht on the table with some black bread. And I'll show you how it's properly eaten by the Russians, Ukrainians, all kinds of Slavic people. Check it out. We got a borscht, and we got Ray. We got some Russian black bread, some sour cream. I prefer aioli. I like the sour cream, but aioli is basically garlic, kind of like a sauce. Very tasty. And then we got parsley and garlic, green onion, and you said you like butter with yours,
I like butter on my bread, yeah.
So go ahead, grab a little bit of sour cream. Yeah, that much. And now parsley and garlic right on top of all that goodness. Yes, just like this. Yes. And a little bit of green onion. Slowly start mixing all this goodness into the soup. Into the borscht. Yes.
Extra sour cream.
Extra sour cream. Nice. Oh. First spoon by Ray Grossman of Borsh.
Oh my dear God, give me 2 spoons. This is a 2-spoon job. This is a 2-spoon job.
You want my spoon?
Are you sure?
I'll grab mine again, don't worry.
Nah, I'm just kidding, but still, I mean...
2 spoons.
This is amazing.
Oh, it's very good and smoky.
You like?
I like it.
Because we grilled the meats, right?
We grilled the meats, and I think it's those ham hocks.
Oh,
Right?
that's right, huh? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Much better than butter.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So wait, like, pinky's out or pinky's in? The lip on this bowl is too big! Urgh! Oh my God. Yes, I'm eating like I was in the army. Leave me alone. Борщец.
Борщец, oh.
Вкусно.
Зеленая улочка. What? Oh, dip the bread in there. It's so good.
This is just a whole cornucopia of flavors that mixed together is just amazing.
You got that beautiful, rich beef broth with that beautifully roasted skeleted beets. The sauerkraut roasted, the potatoes. It's kind of like, you know what it reminds me of? A very healthy soup with all these red colors that you think it's like a awesome tomato soup, but it's actually got the beef broth, a little bit of pork, a little bit of smoked shank, and I can, if they come up with that in a can, I'll buy it.
Eating now.
And the right amount of